It's a fun Friday, and today we're going to focus on our fabulous hips. We got a lot to do. We're going to keep moving, and I bet you're going to sweat by the end of the practice. Our hips are among the biggest joints in the bodies, and the hips are probably the most essential movement of the hips is probably the most essential thing for quality movement throughout the rest of your day. Mobile, stable hips. Those joints are the keystone to your being able to have optimal movement and optimal fun off of your mat those other 23 hours of the day. This is a 1 hour long practice. I'm Jan. This is 316 Yoga. This is your yoga from home. Why choose this one? Because you do it from home. You do it your way. I really encourage modifications. I'll talk you through everything. Don't sweat it. Do what you can with what you got. Biggest thing, bottom of the screen says, do what's right for your body. Don't hurt yourself. If something hurts, why would you want to do it? If it hurts, back out of it. Don't do it. Take it to a lesser percentage. I'll show you modifications. Today's practice we call Yoga Plus because we include Barre, we include Pilates, we include little hand weights. So every day our practices are different, but they're all designed to make you more, the buzzwords, stable, more flexible, more mobile, and stronger. And it really does work. The key is for you to just stick with it. Do it your way and stick with it, and don't hurt yourself. Word to think about today as you practice. It's kind of fun to think about the word excited. Excited. Be excited. It's a happy Friday. You're on the right side of the ground. Excitement. The word is defined as to be stimulated to activity, to be brisk, to get pumped up. Think about that as it applies to your mobility. Get pumped up so you can be pumped up, so you can move. Keep moving so you can move. When you stop and slow down, and maybe, things won't move as well as they used to. That's for sure. Move. All right. You're going to need some props. The props you're going to need are our usual little 2 blocks. If you don't have those, don't sweat it. You can make the practice work without them. A hand towel, an eye shade, little hand weights. You could use water bottles if you want, a strap if you like, and this toy. It's a bender ball or a mobility ball or a stability ball. You can buy them online. It's like a playground ball. It's a very thin membrane. The purpose of it is to not inflate it all the way because you want to create an unstable surface. That's the purpose of this ball. So there you go, and have some water, and let's start. Come on up to standing. As you come on up to standing, lock in a stress number on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 to 10. What's going on in your body, in your mind right now? Give it a number, and we'll come back to that number at the end. Grab this ball, place it up between your thighs, and give it a good squeeze. If you don't have the ball, don't worry about it. Maybe buy it for next time. But if you've got it, give it a good squeeze. It helps you feel more stable. It helps you feel more solid. And it's starting to activate those hips, those thighs. They're starting to get strong already. And that's what we're after. Place your hands on your hips. Or if you have a chair nearby, you can use that. You can use that, and you can be seated in your practice if you want to. And take the poses that make you feel good. I'm gonna put my hands on my hips, squeeze my elbows back, shoulders down, and I'm gonna start to lift onto the balls of my feet. And if you're seated in the chair, maybe put a block under your feet or in front of your feet. Start to lift on up to the balls of the feet and then down on your heels. Take a big breath in through your nose. And here's the hard part. Nobody wants to do this. Audibly sigh it out. Let it go. Sighing is what we do when we're stressed, right? So let all the stress go. Squeeze the ball good and tight. Come up to the balls of the feet. Awaken your foundation. All right, here's a question for you, and this is a difficult question. Ask yourself what you're doing today. If it's getting you any closer to where you want to be tomorrow. Are you doing the right things so you can be where you want to be in the future? And I would say right now, doing your yoga is a good thing. You're doing right now something that's positive to get you where you want to be in the future. All right, so calves starting to awaken. Oh yeah. Let's come on down to the heels, lift your toes up, give them a wiggle. Plant your feet nice and solid on the ground. Lift your arms high up to the sky, extended mountain. Put a little bend in your elbows if that feels good. If you're seated in the chair, you're golden. You got this. Lengthen up. Let your chest open up. Let your chest rise up to the sky. Interlace your fingers, send your palms to the sky, and start to sway gently from side to side. As you do this, feel the stretch between the ribs. Bend in the elbows if you want, or straighten the elbows if you want. Just feel what you feel. Be conscious of what you're feeling in your practice in this moment. Squeeze the ball, stay strong. All right, there's your gentle palm tree pose, waking the spine up, moving it laterally. All right, next thing, let's do a baby back bend. All right, so keep the ball there if you want. Take your hands, put them behind your low back, squeeze your elbows toward your spine, push your hips forward. Even this feels really good. As you look forward, decide to look up to where the ceiling and the wall meet, or maybe look directly overhead as if a raindrop were gonna fall right between your eyes. Breathe, take this gentle little baby back bend. Squeezing that ball helps with stability. You decide if you like it. If you have it, enjoy it. And if you don't have it, maybe think of buying one later today. When you're ready, exhale, fold forward. Fold forward, let your arms hang heavy. Oh, loosen up the back. I bet you haven't even done this move yet today. Maybe, when you tie your shoes. Or do you sit in a chair and tie your shoes? Just try to bend forward. Try to let your fingers reach toward the earth. Look back to your knees or up towards your belly button as you let your neck hang loose. Put a little bend in your knees if that feels good. If you're in the chair, bring your torso towards your thighs. Breathe in, lengthen up, exhale, belly button to your spine. Just let everything go. Squeeze that ball, keeps your feet hip width distance apart. Shake your neck, loosen it up, and if your hands are nowhere near the ground, don't sweat it. Just let your arms be heavy. Wiggle your shoulders, maybe close your eyes. That's always a challenge to your balance, so close your eyes whenever you want. Look back to your knees, and if it doesn't feel good, open your eyes. But just imagine your hands coming closer and closer to the earth in this nice forward fold. And you can also feel the hamstrings, the backs of your legs, getting a nice stretch. Inhale, roll your spine up one vertebra at a time. Chin off of your chest last. Squeeze that ball. Let's do Nordic pole arms. So as if you've got Nordic poles and you're hiking in the snow. Start to sway and swing and bring the arms back and forward, back and forward. Really take them back. Really bring them forward. Big Nordic arms. What's big for you? Maybe this is a little too much. Then take it a little easier. Breathe. Breathe. The best part, breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth. All right, nice big Nordic arms. How far can you take it? How far feels really good for you? And let's finish. Tee out your arms. Send your palms face down and fingers to the sides of the room. Start to do some big arm circles. Squeeze that ball. Maybe come into like a little chair stance by putting a bend in your knees, just a little bit. Keep tracing those circles toward the front of the room. Hold here in your chair pose. Maybe make the circles a little bit bigger, bigger, bigger. Maybe make the circles go to the back of the room, nice and big, big, big. And then start to decrease the size of the circles. It's amazing what your body can do. Decrease the size of the circles. Let your arms float down by your sides. Pop up onto the balls of your feet. As you bend in the knees, keep the shoulders more over the hips, hands to your hips, and little teeny pulses down, down, down. You can be flat on your feet if you want. Hold on to the side of your chair if that feels good. Little teeny pulses, wake up your thighs. Let your knees feel good here. Maybe sink a little lower. Breathe in. Sigh it out. No pressure, no tension. Let the expectation go. Don't hold yourself to super high standards in this. All you got to do is move a little bit, and it's all good. All right, sink low and hold it here. Now pulse the ball in, in. You could be holding onto the chair in front of you or to the side, whatever feels good. Little teeny pulses, squeezes of the ball in, in, in. As you're ready, finish up. Let your feet come down. Oh my goodness, I'm done already. How about you? Hands to opposite elbows. Ragdoll pose. So squeeze the ball good and tight. Hinge forward. If you have no ball, have your feet hip width distance apart. Let the crown of your head hang toward the earth, so you're essentially tucking your chin to your chest. Think of your elbows as heavy as they pull down toward the earth. Little bend in your knees might feel good. Eyes open or closed. Be aware of what you're doing and do what is a slight challenge. Go ahead and gently start to sway. One elbow back toward the knee, then the other elbow back toward the other knee. Sway and let your ragdoll pose feel wonderful in your low back. Feel what you feel here. Stretch it out and breathe it out. And when you're ready, we'll finish up. Come back to the midline of your body. Let your fingers release down to the earth, remove the ball, and come on down to your knees for child's pose. Realize that what you did just now is probably more than most people do in their entire day. The movement, the range of motion, excellent. Keep at it. Always stick with your yoga. It'll make you feel better in your mind, your heart, and your soul, and your body. Not the most important part, but such an important part to keep that mobility. All right, knees are on your mat, big toes touching. Let's come into a child's pose. For a classic child's pose, bring your chest down to the earth or to a block. Let your arms be down by your sides. You could rest your forehead on the block. Whatever feels comfortable, that's what you gotta do. Make it work for you. Palms face up, shoulders away from the ears, nice and tight, rolled up in a little ball here. This is your classic child's pose. In this pose, think of your spine as lengthening. I'm going to take a wide-legged child's pose. That's spreading the knees wide. Big toes touch, hips still go back to the heels. Chest still comes down toward the earth. Use a block, maybe a half-size block, or no block at all. I'm going to take my arms in my wide-legged child's pose and either reach to the top of the mat, maybe bring your forearms down, see how that feels different. Or today I'm going to take my palms and make them touch and bend my elbows, hugging my elbows up by my ears, placing my hands in prayer behind my neck. Breathe in, sigh it out. As you sigh it out, send your tailbone more to the back of your mat. Big inhale, like backs of the lungs expand to the side of the room. Big exhale, your belly button goes to your spine and your tailbone goes to the back of your mat. This is your child's pose. Return to it anytime you like because it's doing lots of good things. It's calming and soothing your mind. It's stretching your ankles, getting that nice bend in your knees and your quadriceps. Spine is lengthening, breath is deepening. If you're in the extended child's pose, in the hands behind the neck like I'm in, your triceps are getting a nice stretch. Breathe in, breathe out. Let the outside world go. This is your time to focus on you on your mat. If you'd like, close your lips and breathe in and out of your nose, allowing you to build heat and focus in your body. Big full breaths in. Feel your lungs expand out your back. And big full breaths out. Think of the tailbone going more to the back of the mat and your belly button going to your spine. Empty out every last little ounce of air from your lungs. And when you're ready, let's come out of this child's pose. Press on up to a neutral tabletop. That means your knees are under your hips, your shoulders are over your wrists. Lengthen through your spine. Press the tops of your feet out onto your mat. Turn your hands so your fingers are towards your knees. We're going to do a forearm stretch here. All right, fingers are towards your knees. Your forearms are shining, that's a good verb, are shining forward. Wiggle your bottom like a dog wagging its tail. Sit your hips back more towards your heels and move them forward as you feel a nice stretch in the front of the arms, the forearms. So move a little bit this way and that, whatever feels good. Maybe you want to take it further back onto the fingers and let the wrists come up a little bit off of the mat. Just stretch the forearms. Let this feel really, really good. It's another area of your body that you seldom stretch. All right, when you're ready, let's come out of this pose. Bring your hands back to a natural position. Wiggle the fingers a little bit. Come back to that neutral tabletop position. Let's do cat-cow. So tuck your chin to your chest, tuck your tailbone under, arch your back up to the sky. Remember to push into the tops of your feet and your hands. Inhale, cow pose, crown of your head and your tailbone lift. Do some cat-cows. Your pace, your practice. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Each pose is complementary. Each pose looks like the animal that it's named after. Cat looks like a cat arching its back up to the sky. Cow looks like a cow with the head lifted and the tailbone lifted and the belly kind of sagging down to the ground. Cat, cow. Let's finish here. Neutral tabletop. You do exactly what speaks to you in the practice, nothing more, nothing less. Extend the right leg long, push the ball of the foot into the ground. Stretch out that calf, let it feel good. Let's do cat, pulling its tail. We'll take it in layers. Lift the right extended leg up. Feel the compression in the low back here. Press into the earth, cross the leg over the midline of the body, plant the sole of the foot down. Look over your left shoulder or look back to your foot or your knee or your bottom. Sweep the right foot around, plant the right foot, lift the right arm up to the sky. Little twist here, think of your whole torso going to the side of the room. Hi, Lynn, Liz, Diane, Betty, Tyrone, Stan, Tammy, Marietta, Tina, Rena, Mark, Maria, and Yvette, nice to see you. Place your right arm down, bring the right knee back to meet the left, other side. Extend the left leg long, push the ball of the foot into the earth. Lift the leg up, nice and straight, feel the compression. Cross the leg over the midline, squeeze and hug high in your upper inner thighs. Look over your right shoulder, look to your foot, your knee, your bottom. Ooh, big stretch up that left side. Sweep that left leg around, bring the foot to maybe hip height. Left arm lifts up to the sky and you look up there as well. Hand comes down, knee comes back to meet knee. Extend the right leg long again. Push into the ball of the foot. Move a little bit. How does that feel? Lift the right leg up. Now bend the right knee and kind of kick yourself in the bottom. Hug the heel in as close to your bottom as you can. Knee is nice and high and lifted. Left arm reaches around and captures your right foot. Kick the right foot into the left hand, push the earth away, look to the left side of your mat, to the left side of your room, maybe over your left shoulder. Kick, hold it, kick, finish. Knee comes down, hand comes down. Other side. Left leg extends, ball of the foot on the mat, push into the ball of the foot. Oh, just move here so it feels good. Lift the left leg up, bend the left knee, kick yourself in the bottom a little bit here. Hug the knee, heel in nice and close to your bottom. Right arm reaches around and captures the foot. Kick into the hand. Look to the right side of your mat, your room, or over your shoulder. Kick, hold it. You got it. Strong kick. The foot is strong. Finish up. Place the leg down. Knee meets knee. Hand meets hand on the mat. Time for cat-cow. Chin to chest. Cow pose, just the opposite. Let it feel really good for you. All right, let's do our fire hydrant pose. Place the ball behind your right knee if you've got it, if you want to. Lift the right knee up, draw the right toes toward the shin, helps you lock the ball in. If you have no ball, that's fine too. Just lift and lower the right leg to the right side of the room. As if, here's the image, a dog on a fire hydrant. Lift and lower, getting into those hips. Maybe lift it up good and high and pulse it up. Think of the ankle going higher than the knee. Reach your limit here. Pulse, pulse, pulse. Finish. Right knee hovers against left. Lift the right knee up. Lift the right knee so it's at about hip height. Check out your hips. Keep both hips equal distant to your mat. Squeeze the ball good and tight. Lift the knee a little bit higher. Now pulse the heel into the bottom. Don't let your belly sag. Press into your hands. Stay strong in your core. Lengthen through your spine. Little teeny pulses of the ball in. If you don't like getting down on your knees, maybe slip a towel under your knee. If this is a little uncomfortable on your wrists, a trick is to ball your hands into fists. That feels better. You could also fold your mat in half. You could also have a wrist wedge underneath your hands. Spread your fingers good and wide. Press a little more into thumb and forefinger. Stay right here. Ooh, and keep pulsing. Now hug the heel nice and tight in toward your bottom and pulse up to the sky. You know, another option would be to drop down to your forearms, if that feels better for your wrists. Or, you know, you've got these blocks. Here's another way to use them. Place them at a stable height and rest your forearms on there. Again, check in with your hips, keep them equidistant to the mat, and just enjoy your pose, whatever way you've got it going. So keep the pulse going. And then let's finish here. Knee hovers next to the knee on the mat. Then you place the knee down. We'll take it to the other side. So let's go to our fire hydrant pose here. Taking the ball, or no ball at all, behind the left knee. Setting up your arms however feels good. Lift the left knee and start to lift the ball to the side of the room. Lift it up. Maybe ankle is a little higher than the knee. Maybe lift it up and pulse it up. Pulse it up. Woo, keep that left hip down. Keep your gaze between your thumbs. Bring the left knee to hover next to the right. Bring the left knee up to about hip height. Start to kick the ball in toward your bottom. Both hips are equidistant to the mat. Kicking the ball in, nice and strong. You really start to feel it in your right glutes, don't you? Breathe. Spine is long, your hands are strong. Top of your right foot is pushed into your mat. You got this going on. Think of the strength that you're building in your low back here. Hug the ball in, good and tight toward your bottom, and then start to pulse the ball up to the sky. Remember those tricks with your hands. It really helps if your fingers are spread wide and you push a little more in your thumb and your pointer finger. But I don't know how your wrists feel. Pay attention to it. Don't ever hurt yourself. If something hurts, find another way to do it. All right? Are we done pulsing here? When you're ready, we'll finish. We'll let the left knee hover next to the right for a moment. We'll place both knees down. Place the ball at the top of your mat. Spread your legs wide. Big toes touch. Slowly sink your hips back to your heels and stretch it out here in this wide-legged child's pose. Feels really good after doing that fire hydrant and that donkey kick. Sink your hips back. Place your head down on your mat. Reach your arms long and strong and toward the front of the room. Breathe in. Breathe out. Let's come on up to your neutral tabletop. Bring your ball and let's do a bear plank. Hold your ball here. We're going to come to it in a second. Shoulders over your wrists. Tuck your toes towards your shins. Lift your knees on up and hold it here. Hold it and then bring your knees on down. Let's change it up a little bit. Place the ball underneath the top of your right foot and the top of your left foot. So you got the tops of both feet resting on that ball. Hinge the weight a little more forward into your arms. Press on up to your bear plank here and hold it. Feel the difference from your bear plank when you got the stability in the feet versus this one. Knees are just slightly lifted. The core is really engaged to be able to hold you here. Stay strong. A strong core is essential for our good movement. Hold on. You got it. Embrace those little micro wiggles that are happening to keep your balance. There you go. Let's come on down. Let's go back to removing the ball and taking your bear plank here. Draw the toes towards your shins. Lift on up on those knees. Feel the difference? Oh yeah, it's like a sleeping core versus an awake core. All right, nice job. You did it. The ball is an interesting thing to use, isn't it? Let's go back to it. All right, let's take the ball. Place it underneath both feet again. But this time, walk your hands forward. You can stay here on your knees with your shoulders over your wrists and take this pose. We're going to come into a plank here. Now, an idea is a forearm plank with your blocks. Maybe you want to do that today. You can stay on your knees or press on up and hold it here. Another option would be to take a high plank. For that pose, you would maybe keep the ball underneath the feet, or if you don't like it, don't do it. Take your variation of plank that you like. So I'm going to take a high plank on this ball, and we're going to set a 1-minute timer. Let's go, Dwayne. 1-minute timer, here we go. All right, so shoulders stay over the wrists, legs are long. Find your balance on that ball. If you want to, it's up to you. Take the plank your way. You could be lying on your back. That's fine too. All right, we are 15 seconds in. Breathe. This is hard. Stay with it. You've done harder things. Take breaks when you need them. Maybe come off the ball. We are more than halfway there, right about now. Press into the earth. Stay strong. Stay lifted. Your shoulders are over your wrists. Your legs are long. You're embracing that shake on that ball. 15 seconds to go. Stay with it. However long you do it is great. Stick with it. 10 seconds. Don't quit now. You didn't come this far to quit. Stay with it for the last 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Done. Oh my goodness. That was a hard one, wasn't it? Take a child's pose, a wide-legged child's pose. Stretch it out and rest. Arms go long. Breathe. Breathe in. Breathe out. Maybe take a drink of water. Under the feet with that ball is a challenge. All right, but we did it. We've come this far and you've done great. Tell yourself that. Maybe that's your mantra today. I'm doing great. All right, let's do toes pose. Bring your blocks or no blocks. Tuck your toes towards your shins. Have a seat on your heels. You can stay right here with these blocks under your hands. Shoulders back and down. Take it to a ankle pose. Come onto the tops of your feet. Let your knees be together, but come on up off of your mat. Sit on the tops of your feet. Stretch out your feet, your ankles, back and forth from your toes pose, seated on the heels, to your ankle pose, seated on the tops of your feet. Keep your knees together. Do let them come up off the ground. Use your blocks or no blocks. Another option would be to use your hands on the mat as you walk yourself back to your ankle pose. You do what feels good, but just get those ankles and those feet moving, stretching, so you can do more off of your mat. All right, I'm gonna come back to my ankle pose, hands down to my mat, knees lift. Oh, how are you doing? Pretty good, I hope, right? All right, let's come to a seated position. Bring your ball with you. Place your ball at your low back. Lean on back as if you were in a recliner. Lean on back, maybe hands to the hips. Lift your legs on up and pedal here, like you're riding a bicycle. Breathe, not too much weight into the ball. Ride your bicycle, pedal through your heels, and hold on here. If you don't have the ball, totally fine. Come all the way to reclined. Maybe lift your shoulders and pedal through your heels. Either way is great. Ball just makes it a little more fun. Fun, right? All right, keep at it. I'm gonna put the ball back behind my low back and pedal through my heels. Now I'm gonna extend one leg long and hug the other knee in, kind of a half little boat pose. Hold it here, chest is lifted. Breathe. Other leg extends. Hug the other leg in. And your elbows are hugged in by your side as well. Hug one knee in, extend one leg. Hug the other knee in, extend the other leg. Extend both legs. Hug both knees in towards your chest. Extend your legs long. Breathe. Breathe. Legs extend, legs come back. Legs extend, legs come back. Hug them in good and tight. Chest is lifted, breathe. One hand behind one thigh, other hand behind the other. Lift both legs up and hold it here. Little to no weight in the ball behind your back. Stay strong. And you know You do boat your way. Maybe you prefer doing it with the strap. A little kinder, a little gentler. We do that other days of the week. Today is more of a challenge, right? Hold it here. You can do this. See, you got it. All right, know that you can do it. Bring the legs down. Remove the ball from behind your low back. Lean on back again. Keep your hands behind your thighs and lift. And just imagine that ball is there. You've got support. You've got invisible support. You've got the support of your strong core. Yes, you do. Stay here, hold it here, lower the legs a little bit and remove the hands. Let the arms reach up to the sky, hold it. Bring your hands to prayer center, bend your legs a little bit, breathe, hold it right here. And then come on up to seated. Shoulders over your hips, take a restorative forward fold, reaching your hands towards your feet, your shins, your calves, whatever. Elbows hug in, gaze down towards your knees. Inhale, lengthen, point your toes up toward the sky. Exhale, belly button to spine, bring your chin closer to your knees. Inhale, come on up, shoulders over your hips. Find that ball, slowly come back all the way down to recline. Take it nice and slow, maybe tell yourself something positive here. Shoulders are down, lift one leg. Bring it on down. Lift the other to about 45. Bring it on down. Lift them both up to about 45. Bend your knees so your shins are at a 90-degree angle to the earth. Peel your shoulders on up. Take the ball and as if it were like yarn, wrap the ball around your shins, holding the ball, keeping your core lifted. There you go. Take it in the other direction. Core is strong. Take the ball around the other way. All right, spread your legs a little bit like a figure 8 with the ball going between one leg then the other. Breathe, you got it. All right, now let's come on up to seated. Bend your knees, lift your legs up a little or a lot. Figure 8 here, find your balance. Figure 8, ball under and over one leg then the other. Breathe, you got it. Strong core, strong hip flexors, good balance, and cross-body movements, good for the brain. All right, let's finish. Feet come down, squeeze the ball between your hands, nice and strong. Slowly come all the way down to recline. Place the ball to the side, dead bug pose. Bend your knees, bring your legs up, knees over hips, shins at a 90-degree angle. Place your hands onto your thighs. Push your arms, your hands into your thighs, then push your thighs back into your hands. Really a strong pose here. Embrace the shake. Arms are strong, legs are strong. Really push one into the other. Push, 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 good and hard. Let's finish. Legs float down to your mat. Take that stick pose, arms and legs. Reach long in opposite directions, pointing the toes. Stretching out the hip flexors. Here you go, stick pose. Just kind of reset what you got. Bend your knees, bring the soles of your feet to touch, open up your knees to the sides of the room. Let your arms float down like snow angels to a teed out position. So your shoulders are about your elbows are at shoulder height. Backs of your hands are on your mat. Keep the backs of your hands on your mat as best you can. Then bend your elbows, bringing the arms parallel to the sides of your mat for a goddess pose. Arms look like a goalpost, legs open wide. Stay right here. You can stay here if this feels good, or join us in some little sit-ups. Bend your elbows even more, bringing your fingertips lightly to your temples. Exhale the air out of your lungs, let your chin go up to the sky, and pulse it up, up, up. So your upper body is pulsing up to the sky. Your knees are open wide, and so are your elbows. Little teeny pulses. Take breaks when you want. Bring the shoulders down and rest for a breath, and then get back in the game. Breathe, lift, little pulses. Oh, really, really get into those deep, deep belly muscles. You got it. Pulse it. Stay strong. Good job. Come on down. Stretch it out again in your stick pose. Legs long, arms reach high, point your toes. Breathe in, Breathe out, take it to a pentacle pose. Arms spread wide, so do your legs. You look like a capital letter X. Stay right here if you want. I'm gonna do a wide-legged forward fold. Maybe let your arms float on up to the sky. Maybe bring your torso on up as well. Legs open wide, walk your hands forward. Legs spread good and wide, walk your hands forward. Reach. You know, you could use a block. It brings the ground up to you and it feels kind of nice. Reach. Maybe bring your elbows down to the block. Maybe that feels good. Maybe place the block at a height that is accessible to you and let your forehead rest on it. Or maybe you're just still enjoying your pentacle pose. That's great. Breathe in. Breathe out, sigh it out, let it go. Bring your legs back together at the midline of your body. Find your two blocks and let's go surfing. All right, so with your two blocks at their high height, come to standing on your knees. Bring your right foot forward so it's planted on the mat, knee over ankle. Press into your blocks. I think this is the biggest help for the blocks at this point. Send your left knee long, maybe put a towel under it. Right knee over right ankle. Press into the blocks, maybe lift a little higher, or bring the shoulders over the hips. Push both feet hard into the earth. It helps. You feel more stable and strong. Press into your blocks or lift your arms up to the sky. Look up, maybe take a baby back bend. It really helps. Push both feet into the ground. Maybe hands float back to prayer center. Maybe hands float back to the blocks. Start to surf. Straighten the right leg and bend the other knee. Using the blocks or no blocks at all, walk your hips back toward your left heel. Use your hands to walk forward if you want. Bring the right knee forward to the ankle, whatever feels good, and bring it on back again. So surf it out to what feels right. Here's an option, hands to prayer center, and surf here using your core to bring you up and back, and take it slowly with control. We'll finish here by bringing both knees to meet on your mat. Left foot forward, knee over ankle. Reintroduce your blocks to send your right leg long and strong. Ooh, feel it in the hip flexors. Stay right here. Or maybe shoulders come over the hips. What you're after is that big stretch in the right hip. Don't worry about how it looks. What is the biggest stretch for you that doesn't hurt? Maybe arms lift, maybe a little back bend. Don't forget to push your feet into the earth. Maybe hands float back to your positive comment, to your positive mantra in your prayer center hands. Maybe hands float down to the blocks and you start to surf. Maybe the bottom doesn't go onto the heel. That's fine. Take it your way. It is your yoga. Everybody's yoga is different, and it should be different because all of our bodies are different. All of our bodies have different histories, don't they? You've either broken this or broken that or twisted this or twisted that, or I have this or I have that. So make the yoga work for you. What is important is that stress number at the end of the practice. Do you feel better? Do you feel less stress? All right, let's finish here. Come back to standing on that right knee. Left foot is planted solidly. Let's stand up. All right, you can use your chair or you can sweep the right foot up to meet the left. Come to standing. Let's do our standing poses, then we'll do our weights. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. We're going, extended mountain. Let's go there. Take it in layers. Lift your arms up high to the sky. Lift here. Now lift your left leg up. Bring it on up, knee to about hip height. Here's your one-legged mountain. Lift. Fingers are high and lifted, knee to hip height. Float your arms down. Float your arms down, interlace your fingers, hug underneath your left knee. Hug it in. If you fall out, no big deal. Get right back to it. Hug the knee in, focus. Look at something that's not moving. Hug the knee in. Circle the ankle, right and left. With the left hand, open up the left knee to the side of the room. Tee out your right arm. Hold it there. Stay there. Release the leg from the hand. Bring the bent leg's foot onto the calf of the standing right leg. Hands back to prayer center. Here's your tree. You got it. Strong tree. Bring the knee to the front of the room. Plant the left foot next to the right. You got it. Root into your left leg. When you're ready, arms go up, extended mountain. Now lift your right leg. Bring it on up to your one-legged mountain. Hold it here. Arms float down. Interlaced fingers go beneath the knee. Hold it. Stay here. Open up the knee to the side of the room. Tee out your left arm. Hold it. Float the foot down inside the calf. Hands to prayer center. Here's your tree. Back to that familiar, comfortable tree pose. Guide the foot, the knee to the front of the room. Plant the foot down. Come back to your extended mountain. Lift it up. Breathe in. Exhale it out. Hands to prayer center. Find your weights. Okay. A bit of a challenge because it combines several very familiar poses. Our tree pose, our one-legged mountain. Whew, it's a challenge, isn't it? It's always good to challenge a little bit more each and every day. So grab your hand weights. All right, you're standing nice and solid, nice and firm. Let your weights rest by your hips, palms in, shoulders away from your ears. Feel that feeling of shoulders away from the ears. Maybe close the eyes. When you're ready, bend the elbows, bring the weights up to your shoulders. When you're ready, exhale, push the weights up to the sky. And then bring them on down as you inhale. Weights go up to the sky, down to your shoulders. Now, you can alternate with your hands. That might be a little more comfortable. Don't let your elbows go crazy. Keep them kind of hugged in. Lift your weights up, 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 and down, down, down. And alternate if you want. It's all good. Lift and lower. Breathe. Maybe sigh it out. Let some tension go. Whatever size weights you have, it's good. Maybe get bigger weights, maybe get smaller weights, just try. Flip your hands so your palms are face forward. Bring your elbows to about shoulder height. Lift your weights up, palms facing forward. Bring the weights back to where the elbows are even with the shoulders. Lift and bring them back. Lift and bring them back. Lift up and back. Lift up and back. Strengthen your upper back. Earlier this week, we did a fish pose. Fish pose is so good for strengthening your upper back. Breathe, and we do that you will look taller pose often as well. Another good pose for your posture. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. You got it. Lift and lower. All right, float your elbows down by your side. Let your arms float down by your sides. Send your shoulders to the back of the room, back and down. Let your shoulders release. Let it feel good. Feel how this feels. Crown of the head is lengthened up. Shoulders are away from the ears. Nice long neck. When you're ready, put a little bend in your knees and then lift your weights towards your armpits. And then send them down. Lift them towards your armpits. Send them down, your gaze is forward. Maybe pop on up to the balls of your feet and find some balance here. Breathe. When you're ready, if you're ready, you can keep it this, using one arm, then the other, or both. Weights up to the armpits, then both arms extend. Or let's take it to a drinking bird. Send your arms, which are straight, to the back of the room and pulse the ends of the weights to the back wall. Chest is open. Feel that opening in your chest. Feels like fish pose, doesn't it? Pulse those weights to the back of the room. Maybe stay high on the balls of your feet. Maybe put more of a bend in your knees. You could always use that ball between your thighs to feel more stable. Let's pulse the weights in toward our low back. Breathe, keeping your gaze forward. Breathe, sink a little lower. You got it. You got it. Let's let the weights hang naturally by our sides. Let's do little pulses in the legs, up and down. Bring your shoulders back more over your hips. So your back is essentially straight. Little pulses, either on the balls of your feet, or maybe you want to be flat-footed, totally fine. Let's stop with the pulses. Take it nice and low. Let's lift the weights to in front of us, palms face up, forearms up to the sky, as if you're serving a tray from a seat You're like in a chair position. Hold it right here. Let's pulse the entire body. Arms, legs, little pulses. Find your balance. You're strong. You got it. Nice. Let's keep this pulsing and take it on down like a little elevator all the way down to what's right for your knees. Breathe. Maybe bring it on down and then bring it on back up. Lift the weights high above your head. Let the weights meet overhead. Ditch one weight if you want, and then work the weights down your back. Stretching, working, feeling it in your triceps. Lift and lower. You got it. Oh my goodness. Let it feel good in the arms. All right. When you're ready, we're going to finish this, and we're going to go to a nice bridge pose, followed by a pontoon pose. So let's lift the weights up high to the sky. Let the arms float down by your sides. Hinge forward. Let the weight of the arms, with those added weights in the hands, let them float down. Little bend in your knees. Look back to your knees. Remove the weights. Grab your block. Come down to your knees, and let's do a bridge pose. Onto your back we go. Knees bent, soles of the feet on the mat. Press your hips up to the sky, have the block nearby. Hips are high and lifted. Arms can be down by your sides or fingers interlaced behind your low back. Press your pinkies into the mat. Lift your hips good and high. Remove your hands, keep your bridge high. Take your block, place it under your bottom, under your sacrum, low on your back. Come to rest on your block and send your legs good and long. Stretch out the hips here. Bend one leg, hug it in using your interlaced fingers underneath the knee. Send it long and let it rest. Other leg, hug it in with your interlaced fingers and send it out to rest. Breathe through it, alternate. One knee gets hugged in, the other leg gets extended. Send it long, stay here, rest here in your pontoon pose if you like. I'm gonna bend my knees, pop on back up to that bridge pose. Release the block from behind your low back, roll your spine down one vertebra at a time, and then legs long, grab your ball, come on up to seated. Once you're seated, bend your knees. Bend your knees and come into that seated deer pose. So your knees are both kind of facing the same direction. Place the ball behind your top knee and squeeze it. You know, a little bit of a kickstand with your hands, however feels good. Lift that leg that has the ball. Lift it and lower it, and lift it and lower it. Be comfortable here in how you are supporting yourself. Squeeze the ball in. Give it a good tight squeeze, and then pulse it up, up, up. Ooh, I feel that, don't you? All right, let's come on down, place it on the other side. So move your knees, bend both knees, let them flop to the other side. Get your stable arm here, place the ball behind your knee. If you don't have the ball, no big deal, you can do it without it. Lift the leg up and pulse it up, up, up. Pulse it up. Lift it good and high, and then kick the heel in. So here's your little seated deer pose with this ball squeeze. If you don't have a ball, you can kind of do it too, but the ball makes it more fun. You do what you like. All right, let's remove the ball. Come into your forearm side plank. Forearm comes down. You can be on your bottom knee. You can send the left leg long. Reach the arm up to the sky and then try to lift that top leg. Let the top arm reach to the front of your room. Hold it here. And then take it to the other side. So come on down. You can be on this bottom knee, left forearm parallel to the top of the mat. You could extend your legs long and have your ankles together, lifting the top arm up to the sky, reaching the top arm to the front of the room, shoulders over shoulders, breathe, then come on down. Find the ball again and come back to the other side. Lots of movement here. We're going to do clamshells. Knees bend. Come on down to your forearm, or you can come on down and rest your head on your bicep. I'm going to place the ball between the knees, and I'm going to squeeze it. Squeeze it, squeeze it, squeeze it. Ankles glued together. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Lift the ball up and squeeze it here in this variation of your clamshells. If you don't have the ball, just open and close the legs with the ankles lifted or down on the ground. Your call. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Now we're going to finish. Bring the legs down, remove the ball, keep the knees glued, and do your reverse clamshells. Lift the ankles away from each other. Maybe lift both ankles off the ground and lift the top ankle up toward the sky. Little reverse clamshells. We'll take it to the other side. Flip on over to the other hip. Adjust your arm how you like it. Maybe you're all the way down. Maybe you're halfway lifted. Ball between the ankles if you want. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Maybe ankles lift and you still continue to squeeze the ball. Hand on your hip, little kickstand. Maybe you want to go high to the sky. Maybe you want to take a little stretch. Whatever you want to do, whatever feels good. Don't feel limited. All right, I'm going to place the ankles down. I'm going to remove the ball. I'm going to keep my knees glued together, and I'm going to do that reverse clamshell, lifting the top ankle away. There comes a point where it just naturally kind of sticks, and you can't go any farther, but it's so good for your hips. All right, I'm going to lift the bottom ankle too and work the ankles away in these reverse clamshells. All right, when you're ready, we're going to place the legs together. Come on down, grab your eye shade and or your towel, bring it up near your shoulders, and I'm going to place the ball away. I'm going to slowly come down, hands at prayer center, come all the way down to fully reclined. I'm going to bend both knees, hands capture under each knee, a little happy baby here, rock from side to side. I'm going to work my hands down towards my ankles, or maybe even to touch my heels. Draw your toes towards your shins, shoulders come back down, send one leg up to the sky, then the other. There is your happy baby pose. Breathe. It is time now to send your heels high to the sky. Open up your legs good and wide, and maybe even use your hands on your inner thighs. Spread them wide. So this is like your wide-legged forward fold position where you spread your legs wide, but here you got gravity helping you, and your hands on your inner thighs is going to spread your legs even further apart. Good job. Bring your knees together at the midline, ankles also. Bend your knees, arms down by your sides, extend your legs to 45 degrees, and slowly, strong core, lowers them all the way down. All the way down, come to your final Shavasana pose. Heels toward the edges of your mat, arms down by your sides, palms face up. Eyes are covered with your eye shade or your towel. Shoulders are wiggled into your mat. Take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. You have your remote nearby. Hit pause and stay here for however is right for you, however long is right for you. You know best. This is your decision. Be it a minute or be it 20 minutes. You let your body rest and you listen to your body. When you're ready to draw your practice to a close, just hit play again and you'll meet us right back here. Take a deep breath in. And a big sighing breath out as you wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes. Circle your wrists and your ankles in all kinds of directions. On an inhale, reach high up overhead and stretch. Point your toes, reach your fingers. Feel good here. Exhale, bend your knees and roll into a fetal position onto one side or the other. Use your low arms bicep as a pillow for your head. Top shoulder is soft, eyes are closed. Savor this moment. You're doing it absolutely perfectly. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. As you're ready, float on up. Maybe eyes are opened or closed. Maybe you use your hands or not. Just be aware of what you're doing. I'm going to sit in that deer pose again. You sit however is comfortable for you to wrap your practice up. Bring your hands to prayer center. Lengthen up through the crown of your head and soften in your shoulders. Take that deep breath in and that big sighing breath out. Let it go. Blink your eyes open. Congratulations. High five. You did it. You did it. Stress number you took in the beginning, what was it? And now what is it? Hips are strong. All right, ask yourself throughout today if what you're doing in this moment is getting you closer to where you want to be tomorrow. That's a tough question, I know. But think about it. It's a good one. All right, see you guys on your mats tomorrow. Love you. Goodbye. See you. Hello, Piper. You're a good girl. Yes, you are. Bye. Good girl. You're still here, and I'm really glad for that. Keep this in mind. The path is made through repetition. Keep showing up, and good things will happen. You know that. I'm glad that you're still sticking around. Tell your friends what the yoga's doing for you. Our yoga is free for anybody and everybody on Facebook and YouTube, and they can join in anytime from the privacy of their own home. Tell them about our practice, please. If you'd like to support our broadcast, you can visit our website. It's www.316yoga.com. Stay on your path, enjoy your yoga, and have a great rest of your day. See you on your mats tomorrow.